Erev Shabbos, Rabbeinu Bechaya says a pshar on a medrash. The medrash goes through every one of the makas that Rabbeinu Shalom smote the Egyptians with. And he says, and the medrash explains how each one was midah keneged midah. And a lot of the makas were connected what the Egyptians did to stop Klal Yisrael from growing, from proliferating. Klal Yisrael was having 6 or 60 kids at a shop, and the Trim were threatened by that. So they shut down the mikvahs, and that's why Hashem took away the water. He took the water with them. He sent all the husbands out into the fields to plant and to go catch crazy creatures. So the Baruch Shalom sent the creatures at the Egyptians, and Hashem destroyed their crops. Rabbeinu Bechaya says, I don't understand, what are the Egyptians thinking? The Jews are their slaves. This is what they have. The more kids that the Jews have, the more slaves they'll have. What was Pshat? Why were they trying to stop them from having more kids? More kids, more little slave left. Nope. So Rabbeinu Bechaya says Pshat is that the Mitzrayim understood that they have the Klal Yisrael in their rishus for a certain amount of time. The Mashiach only gave them a certain tkufa. However many years it was supposed to be, it ended up being 210. We only got out at 210 because of the avodah kasha, because it got so hard. The Mitzrayim knew that there's a certain amount of tsar that Klal Yisrael needed to be soivel until Hashem would take them out. The more kids that Klal Yisrael had, the more of Klal Yisrael there is, the more tsar is being felt. And Hashem's going to take them out earlier. The Egyptians were hoping that if Klal Yisrael would be smaller, they would be taking on less tsar, and then maybe they would stay long enough to hit rock bottom at the 50th level of Tumah and not be zeichet to leave. But the Rebbeinu Shalom took us out at the 49th level of Tumah, and He saved us and shot us up to the 49th level of Kedusha. Brought us to Har Sinai, Baruch Hashem. That was the idea. But and the Rebbeinu Shalom fought back in the tree, midah keneged midah. It's my son with Rav Pam. And he was visiting in 1976. He was visiting the town of Bethlehem, upstate, and he was sick at that point, and he got very, very faint, and he yelled out, and he called to his wife, and he said, I'm going to faint. And his wife panicked, and she ran to the next room, and she found a lemon. And lemon has like a strong, geshmaka, zesty, citrusy flavor, and he gave it to him and said, eat the lemon. Mom sat down and cut up the lemon. He made a bracha, and think a bracha now. Anyway, he took a big bite of the lemon. He mamish enjoyed every bit of that geshmak of lemon juice, and that gave him back his koyach. It revived him. And like a good gadol does, he sat down afterwards and said, "What is this keneged? Why am I zeichet to have this lemon to revive me?" And he thought back, and he takes a Rav Pam to do this. He chap that 20 years ago, he was visiting someone in the Bronx in the hospital, and he brought an orange, and he offered them an orange. And the person he was visiting was a relative. He said, no thank you. And the bed over, there was a person lying there. It turns out he was the Admar of the Bronx. He was paralyzed. He was in a shrekel medical state. He wasn't able to talk. And Rav Pam offered him the orange, and he accepted it. He said, you remember 20 years later how geschmack that orange looked to the Admar of the Bronx, and it was delicious. He wasn't able to speak, but he remembers the gratitude that shone out of his eyes. He thanked Rav Pam for that orange. Pam said, 20 years later, the Rebbeinu Shalom gave me back that tova with the citrus of a lemon. And Hashem didn't just give it to me at a barbecue. Hashem gave it to me when my life was riding on it, when I was about to faint, when it really meant a lot to me. The same way it meant so much to the person I gave that orange to. The Rebbeinu Shalom should give us the eyes to be able to see the tov. We don't wish people a Happy New Year. We wish people a sweet New Year. We should be able to taste the sweetness. We should be able to see the good, because we have so much good, but it's hard to see it sometimes, because human nature is that we focus on the negative. Our right is connected to the person's left in front of us. Our right is the din. We're very scrupulous with our right hand, and our right is connected to their left, all their faults, all of their incongruities, and that's the part that we look at. But the truth is that we have so much good. The Rebbeinu gives us to be able to see all that good and to be able to thank Him for it. Toda Rabba lecha, Toda Rabba lecha, Toda Rabba lecha, Toda Rabba lecha. Hashem yitbarach, Hashem yitbarach, Hashem yitbarach, Hashem yitbarach. Al kol hachasadim, Al kol hachasadim, Al kol hachasadim, Al kol hachasadim. Good Shabbos.